Hello guys, it's Chummaster. Today I'm doing a Beyblade Burst BU discussion video. So, this isn't something I usually do on this channel, but I just wanted to make a video talking about kind of what I think could be released in Beyblade Burst BU. Just for fun. If this video is something that people watching like, maybe I will do something similar in the future again and see how that goes. But anyway, for now I just want to talk about my personal predictions, basically, to what I think could happen. So first up, let's talk about the first 5 motifs, which are things that are basically confirmed. So, first of which, Kirbyus. Kirbyus was seemingly leaked for May, which will be after the April release, which is Divine Belial. So, there's that. Speaking of Divine Belial, I mean, that's, also a thing. I mean, that is confirmed. But, yeah, Kirbyus basically confirmed. I mean, it makes sense as well. The other 4 are the Protag bays: Achilles, Dragon, Hyperion, and Helios. If this is the final season of Burst, there's no way they're just gonna leave the Protag base behind. They're definitely gonna be releasing these 4. So my next category is the very likely category, only one bay in here, Excalibur. Excalibur is one of the most well-liked bays in all of Beyblade Burst. Also, there was a Beyblade election done at the end of 2020. Valkyrie won, and it was basically, the whole thing was like, it gets a DB bay. That's kind of cheating, I feel like, because it is Valkyrie, but the runner-up was Excalibur. They have to know Excalibur is, like, insanely popular, so the odds of them not doing Excalibur, I think, are pretty low. I think that this is something that they will definitely do. I'd be surprised if they didn't, so that's why I'm putting it in the very likely tier. Next up, likely. These are 2 bays that I think are probably going to happen. I guess they could skip them, but I feel like it'd be weird too. Those are, of course, Death Scyther and Wyvern. 2 more classics. I think these are very, very possible to just add in, a couple more releases. Next up, we have a pretty long list of bays that I think are possible. Now, any bay is possible, but these are ones that I think have a good chance, and we will likely see at least a couple of these. First up, basically just any Legend Bay, Zeus, Satan, Diablos, Genesis, and Lucifer. I think Genesis and Lucifer especially also being villain bays. Diablos is also a pretty notable one. That could happen. Zeus has been gone a long time. Also, we don't really have any stamina motifs. I think having another big stamina motif would be a really, really beneficial thing to have, so that one could happen. Satan, I mean, it's a Legend Bay. They could do it. I don't think they will, but it's worth mentioning. Another one, there's 2 other bays I have here. Well, there's more than 2, but the next subcategory is other bays from the Beyblade election. So if you guys don't know the Beyblade election, which I mentioned before, but it basically just included Legend bays plus 3 extra bays, one being Kirbyus, but the other 2, Kronos and Knight. I feel like these 2 could happen. I mean, they put them in the election randomly, so maybe they feel like they should get remade or something. I don't know. Next up, we have another bay here, which is purely for popularity. That is Kukulkan. Kukulkan seems to be very popular for whatever reason. I could see them maybe just doing it because it's popular. And the next 4 here, these were all fairly prominent bays in some regard within their season. So I could see them maybe doing evolutions to these. I kind of doubt these ones, but they're definitely possible. These are Fornius, Hades, Ashura, and Apocalypse. So those are all bays. That was a pretty long list in different subcategories, but I think all these bays are possible to happen. Next up, we have some wild cards. These are 2 bays that I think, of all the other bays I haven't mentioned, they're all still, they're a possibility, but I don't think they're as likely. So from all those, I pulled 2 of them to kind of just add in as my personal picks that I think might actually happen. First, Ifrit. Magma Ifrit, Hasbro exclusive, but it was in the anime. This one would make a lot of sense, I think. I mean, obviously, Hasbro, they had their spotlight with Ifrit. I think releasing this in sort of this weird new season, but not really a season or even new thing would be a good idea. Also, Amaterios. This one I feel like would just mainly be for a final bay. I think ending off on Amaterios would be insane. That would be like a perfect ending to Burst, I would say. Especially because I don't think we'll be getting another like Valkyrie or anything. So what bay would be good to end it? To me, Amaterios. Unless they want to do a new motif, but I kind of doubt that. So I'd say Amaterios. And then again, for any bay that I have not mentioned, I just think they're possible, but I kind of doubt. Maybe they'll bring up some other old motif like Trident or like Odin or something, but I wouldn't count on those. So those are my main predictions. I just wanted to talk about what I think will happen. But I just for fun, this is something that I kind of don't think will happen, but just for the hell of it, I wanted to make a sort of a release map, kind of like a roadmap type of thing, just saying what I think the releases will be. So April, we know it'll be a booster. I think this is going to be Divine Belial. May, I think May will be another booster. I think this is where Kirby's is going to happen. That was what the leak said as well. June, okay, so June, this one, now we're into speculation. So there was the Beyblade BU teaser, and in this we saw 3 bays. Of course, we know the front one was Divine Belial. It looked like the one to the right might have been Kirby's, which would add up. But then there's the one on the left. I think that was a new dragon. So I think June will be another booster, which will be Dragon. After this, we have to go completely into speculation because we can't even look at a teaser to try and figure anything out. We just have to go off of whatever else. July. This is B200, and it will probably be a starter. This has to be a very heavy hitter. So I was thinking, what bays would be heavy hitters? You know, you had your big 4 with Valkyrie, Spriggan, Fafnir, Longinus. All these have been, used up. We've already had them all. And then you can't really... I feel like another Pro Tag Bay wouldn't make sense unless it was Belial, but we're already getting Divine Belial. So what bay would make a lot of sense? Well, as I mentioned earlier, what about a very popular bay that came as runner-up in the election, which would be, of course, Excalibur. I think for a B200 release, having an Excalibur, especially as a starter, would be huge, and I feel like it makes a ton of sense to include Excalibur here. I think also we'll probably have a Fused Layer, and will probably be the 3rd Overdrive Bay. My personal prediction on that. This is getting really, really speculative, but this video is pure speculation anyway, so who cares. Also, being a starter, we'll have a launcher. Maybe, this is a big maybe, but maybe a DB sword launcher. That's less likely, but just for the hell of it, why not throw it in there just to see what happens. August. So August will be probably a triple booster set, or at least some kind of set. I'm leaning towards a triple booster set, but it could be something else. I think this will be Achilles. So my reasoning for Achilles is I kind of didn't know where else to fit it, honestly. There were quite a few spaces that I could have put it, but I feel like putting it here would just make sense. Plus, like how they did with Spriggan last year, they could definitely just put an Achilles in a set to sell the set. I mean, it's a good idea. Next up, September. We'll probably go back to just having a booster. This will probably be Death Scyther. So I wasn't sure where to put Death Scyther, but I wanted to put it in the September release, because September releases are usually kind of bigger releases, and I put it here mainly because it came 3rd in the poll. Yes. First was Valkyrie, 2nd was Excalibur, this thing came 3rd. I think 4th was Phoenix, but we already have Phoenix in DB, so... Death Scyther ranking this high, I think, warrants it a pretty good spot, so I'm putting it in here in September. October, we have a Random Booster Volume 29. They might do another Random Booster, maybe like Kirby's or something will be in a Random Booster instead of a booster, and then this will be 30, but whatever. But based on what I wrote down here, I'll just go based on that. So Random Booster Volume 29. Wyvern, I think they'll probably release Death Scyther and Wyvern pretty close to each other. It's generally a common theme for them. So, yeah, and I think putting it in a Random Booster would make sense. Just a new Wyvern, so that'd definitely be a cool one, and I think this will probably happen. I'd be surprised if we didn't get a Wyvern in, like our final system. So yeah, Next up, November. This is probably going to be another big set. I don't know what kind of set, maybe a stadium set, but this is more of a hope, but I'm really hoping for a customized set. So I'm just going to say my prediction is some kind of DB slash BU customized set. Could be a different kind of set. Maybe a stadium set, who knows. But I think this is where we'll get Hyperion and Helios. I see them releasing these things paired together, and seeing that they don't like to release more than one booster at a time anymore, I think putting them in the same set is very likely, and I think that will probably be kind of the big expensive set for the year, and that will feature those two. After this, we get very, very speculative. I think these are pretty solid educated guesses, I would say, up through this point. The next 4 months are pure just, I don't know, but this is what I would do, I guess. I mean, if I guess it was up to me, I'd release a lot more bays, but I'm trying to be realistic here. December. This would be a booster, probably or maybe even a DX booster if they want to go that route, but Genesis. I think in a December roll, you've already done all of your heavy hitters at this point. What's even left? Might as well just go for a crazy wild bay, infinite lock, the electric driver. I think going for Genesis here makes a lot of sense. Hell, they could even just do a reprint of Hybrid, maybe just do like Hybrid Dash or something. Hybrid Plus, who cares? I think this would make a lot of sense. I think Genesis being a December release, I mean, I don't know what the hell else they're going to even do, because, there's not really much room for another huge bay. So, then we get to 2023. January, another booster, Zeus. I think, I feel like it'd be very weird if they didn't do any stamina motifs. They'll probably have to do at least one stamina motif. And I think Zeus would make the most sense of anyone. So we're going with Zeus. February, Random Booster Volume 30. This is an interesting one. I think this is going to be Ifrit. I think, they're going to wait a long time, but I think that they will do an Ifrit, especially seeing the outcry of fans who wanted it, especially, a few months back. That's definitely enough time to get something going, so I think we will probably see Ifrit around this time. I know it's a wildcard pick, but, I don't know, I feel like Ifrit just has a decent chance. And then finally, March would be the final bay. The final bay in Olive Burst, this booster, I'm going to guess Amaterios. This would be a perfect way to end Burst on, in my opinion. That is, unless they want to do another Valkyrie, but I don't know. So yeah, that's basically what I think, are the bays that are likely to happen. And also just my own random roadmap of sorts that I just made up to, try to have some cohesion to what I think will happen, to just give more definitive predictions. But yeah, I'm definitely curious what they're going to do with BU though, because they have a lot of potential. They don't have to reuse all these motifs. I just put a bunch on screen here while I talked. And I mean, Valkyrie, Spriggan, Longinus, Fafnir, Ragnarok. Those are all things that they don't have to worry about now, so yeah, very curious what they'll do with BU, but those are my predictions. So again, let me know if you want another video where I just ramble about predictions at some point. I don't know how many more times I'll get to do this, because Burst is ending. I probably should have started this sooner, but yeah. This is my random rambling prediction video just for BU. I wanted to do this before we get to the Korokoro, and we were probably going to see some information and stuff. And I just want to do it before the season starts in general, just to get it out there. But yeah, that's pretty much all I had to say. So anyways, thanks for watching, and bye-bye.